Welcome to the What is Stoicism podcast.
To live a good life, we have the potential for it, writes Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations, if we can learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference. This good life is exactly what the ancient Stoics believed the practice of philosophy would allow us to pursue. As Marcus Aurelius alluded to, it would help us rationally examine our judgments and understand what is good, virtue, what is bad, vice, and what is indifferent, essentially everything else. Virtue, Stoics held, is the only true good in life, and for this reason, as Cicero notes in his work On Duties, we should prioritize it. Quote, "For what in the name of heaven is more to be desired than wisdom? What is more to be prized? What is better for a man and more worthy of his nature? Those who seek after it are called philosophers, and philosophy is nothing else, if one will translate the word into our idiom, than the love of wisdom. Wisdom, moreover, as the word has been defined by the philosophers of old, is the knowledge of things human and divine, and of the causes by which those things are controlled." End quote. It's this wisdom, of course, that informs our application of the other three cardinal virtues of justice, courage, and temperance. It's the disposition by which we judge what to do and what not to do. It's what the practice of philosophy furnishes us with. To the Stoics, this internal clarity far outweighed the pursuit of externals like material gain, wealth, reputation, and status. As Cicero concludes, if it's this good life we want, then philosophy is the only way to get there. Quote, "And if the man lives who would belittle the study of philosophy, I quite fail to see what in the world he would see fit to praise. For if we're looking for mental enjoyment and relaxation, what pleasure can be compared with the pursuits of those who are always studying out something that will tend toward and effectively promote a good and happy life? Or, if regard is had for strength of character and virtue, then this is the method by which we can attain to those qualities, or there is none at all." End quote. Writing about the Stoic philosopher Seneca's assertion that life is only short when too much of its duration is wasted in his book Lessons in Stoicism, John Sellers shares one of the foremost ways we can claim back our time, and in doing so, addresses one of the indifferents we should be most wary of. Quote, "It is only in rare moments that most people really feel alive. The bulk of life is reduced to merely passing time. So what's the remedy? How does Seneca think we can take control of our lives and live them to the full? First of all, we should stop worrying about what others think." End quote. Sellers is specifically talking about our appetite for praise, our desire to be spoken of in glowing terms. Of course, it's preferable to have a good reputation, but problems arise when we spend too much of our time trying to craft that reputation and become too attached to what others will think of what we're doing. As the French philosopher Michel de Montaigne put it in his Of Solitude essay, we willingly exchange health, tranquility, and life itself for reputation and status, the most useless, worthless, and counterfeit coin that circulates among us. When the first thing we think about before any action is what people will say, that's when we know we need to take a step back and reassess our motivations. We need to take back control of our own time and leave others to approve or disapprove of our actions in their own time. Those actions, if we're following Stoicism's path to a good life, should be directed toward virtue. In doing this, we can take back control of our own mental space, rather than allow it to be invaded by the potential opinions of people who may not even hold any particular opinion about our actions at all. We need to, as John Sellers advises, take back control of ourselves if we're to fulfill our potential to live a good life. Quote, "Don't try to impress others. Don't pursue their favour in order to secure some advantage. Too many people care about what others think of them, but pay little attention to their own thoughts. They sacrifice their time to others, but rarely set aside time for themselves."